Pokémon, the highest money-making media franchise of all time, released its newest game to the public. It's time again for a bunch of 20 and up-year-olds to irrationally argue on the internet if a green, blue, or red animal thing is the best choice in a game aimed to be made for 5-year-olds. It is pretty crazy that they're still making games with these graphics for the Nintendo 64, the Nintendo Switch. The game's introduction does a good job at gaslighting the player into thinking it has up-to-date graphics, showing you a high-quality professor dressed in a stylish violet suit because it's Pokemon Violet, standing next to this generation's updated Pikachu. There's a short cutscene in front of a white background, so you don't yet realize the slideshow you're about to commence. No, I mean that. The next scenes are just a bunch of still images. We lost our budget for the animation here. Now, it's been over 20 years since Pokemon started producing games. I already know how to play. Let me start catching every single new Pokemon in the game. Let me fight those gyms. Let me evolve all my Pokemon. Stop talking. This is a game made for everyone. We just hit a world population of 8 billion humans on this earth. Do you know how many of those people have never played a Pokemon game before? We gotta teach you everything and more because there's new things added to this game. Oh, and also we still don't have the budget to get voice actors for this game, even though we are the highest grossing media franchise of all time, so good luck reading all the text we have in store for you. Look what you've done, Game Freak. Now I have to make my poor viewers suffer as their potential favorite character could receive a voice like this.
There's always a Titan Pokemon near the Herba Mystica when we find him, right?
Okay, finally time to start the game. Spawn in a cute home with an absolute mommy of a mom and a father figure that's nowhere to be found, leaving it once again up to speculation that every other adult that has a slight significance in the story could potentially be our dad. Before your mother sends you off on your journey, she blesses you with a phone because it's 2022 and you need to complete all the Doodle Jump DLC that you started grinding at age 4 on the iPad. Okay, Mom, time to do what Dad did and leave you forever unless you seek me out on my adventure. Farewell, peace and blessings. Do I choose green cat with the weed symbol on face? Snoop C-A-T-T, if you will. It can create beautiful floral decorations on the gravestones of all its victims. Or maybe Pompadour Donald Duck, a literal W written on the hat. This duck knows fashion. Look how it stylizes its hat. Or is it hair? Or do I choose this fire thing? Wow, not a thought behind its eyes. He's just like me, for real, for real. Aw, he likes flowers because he's a grass starter. Aw, he likes the fountain because he's a water starter. Come on, game, don't do the fire starter dirty like you always do. Can't exactly spawn a blazing cavern of flames to show the fire guy in its natural habitat, so they always show it getting splashed by the water starter and getting upset. He could have shot that water gun anywhere else, but no, it has to land on Score Bunny, huh? Oh, okay, he actually set something on fire here. Good. And now he's being ordered to drop it by none other than the water starter. That's great. Anyway, I'm choosing the green cat. I have green hair. We match. I have a cat named Pepper. I am so biased to this little kitten. Come on, lettuce cat. It's time to embark on our PowerPoint presentation. Now, for you veterans, you may remember Pokemon games as spawning in a world, making a team, visiting town by town in a linear path, clapping gym leaders on the way to earn badges for entry into the Elite Four, becoming the Pokemon champion, and maybe completing the Pokedex as the icing on the cake when you finally capture every legendary. This game certainly removes that aspect in a good way. You actually start the game in the center of the map and are literally told you can travel whichever way you want. You can even stay in the required school tutorial area if you wanted for a bit, which would be weird, but it's totally possible. And yes, you heard me correctly when I said you have to go to school in this game. After little second grader Johnny grinds his pea-sized brain off in class all day and gets home to play video games, Game Freak shoves you back on a school bus and sits you in a classroom to learn again. On the bright side, in a world where almost every student gets around on a motorcycle dinosaur, your whip blatantly stands out as a walking flex machine. But no one bats an eye or questions what the new kid did for a circumstance such as this. I assume the equivalent of going to class in-game meant that you'll be forced to Pokemon battle your classmates or maybe do some silly minigame that gets old after the first time doing it. But no, it's literally you sitting at a desk, reading tutorial guidelines, or sometimes actually learning a sentence of information about the subject, and answering questions for your teacher. In real life, my chemistry teacher got fired in the middle of the school year because he taught us nothing, and I came close to failing all my other science classes in high school, so I was looking forward to learning about biology in a Pokemon game. To my disappointment, though, a topic of biology is whether or not you should let Pokemon out of their Pokeballs indoors. The answer is you should not release them indoors, by the way. I don't think I could do much with that information at my high school reunion if I wanted to impress my former science teachers, bless their souls. After the long-winded school arc, it was up to me to decide which route I would travel in-game, and the fact that this game isn't a single narrow path you're forced to follow makes your, quote, adventure that much more unique. The first 3 most basic Pokemon you add to your party could be completely new to your friend because they went left when you turned right. You could want to speedrun becoming Pokemon champion by defeating all the gyms, while your friend might want to pimp out his weird-shaped motorcycle by defeating Titans that are guarding ingredients for sandwiches, which give your motorcycle more mobility to traverse throughout the map. Ooh! Ooh, pretty. More effects for me to drop my frames with. Love that, Pokemon. Thank you. Since you can basically travel in any direction, you might find an area where you're over-leveled and stomp any trainer or boss you find. But it doesn't actually feel discouraging, as if from now on, the game's gonna be on easy mode. It might even motivate you to try out low-level Pokemon that have been rotting away in your PC box, and I know there are a lot in there. Or you might freak out that you grinded too hard and are now playing the game on easy mode, so you rush to the next few bosses until you realize you're actually the one who's under-leveled now. Oh my goodness, he one-tapped my Chronocat.
Wait, level 56? What is this?
Oh, there's no shot, dude. He wipes us here. But if you can secure a win against someone who has 20 levels on you, it feels that much better. Either way, the map tells you what type of boss is located in each area, so it's up to you what type of storyline you want to choose first. If you want to fight a bunch of misunderstood bully victims by the name of Team Star, enjoy mashing a button on your controller to blindly aim your Pokemon at crowds of enemies. Be careful, you have to beat them all in a short limit of 10 minutes! 7 minutes left to spare. Phew, that was a close one. Proceed to watch in awe as a customized Chevrolet Impala straight out of a Dr. Dre music video rolls up to you with the Team Star leader on top of it. She looks mentally stable. Another storyline is that you can fight Pokemon, but they're big. This is the first time we've ever seen that in a Pokemon game, and look at how big some of the bosses in Scarlet and Violet get too. What? The third path that everyone probably is the most familiar with is the gym path. This time, each battle has a twist and adds a unique minigame that some unpaid interns probably came up with. While you're in the process of taking selfies with the leaders for Instagram after embarrassing them in front of fans, prepare to be interrupted by your rival Nemona, who has a totally normal obsession with battling you. One that allows her to find us at every gym we visit. One that makes her jealous if she finds out that we're battling with other people. Every time you beat her, she wants to immediately reorganize her party and go again. Not even in a salty way, she's just addicted to battling. And every time, I'm so down, bro. And I'm not just talking about battling Nemona twice in a row. Let me battle the significant characters in the game more than once in a session. It feels more special fighting someone you've been talking to all game, you know, having them reveal the parties they have. I agree, Nemona. Let's fight again. This is actually the first time that I'm siding with her. Every question she asked me, I always answered no because I thought it was funny. Want to be friends? No, I'm good.
Sounds fun, right, Grimode? No. Let's you and me be rivals for life. No.
Every Pokemon game has added some sort of gimmick that can turn the tides of any battle. Z-moves, Gigantamax, and the coolest one of them all, Mega Evolutions. I miss them so much. In Scarlet and Violet, we get Terastallization. I don't think I said that right. Terastallization turns Pokemon into Minecraft diamonds with a funny hat. Okay, what it actually does is change the type of your Pokemon once in a battle. Your opponent might have a cringe Charizard out, so you hit him with a Hydro Pump, but he does Terastallization and becomes a grass type, and suddenly you're in a pretty not chill situation. That might sound like an overpowered ability, but you can only use it on one Pokemon per battle, and you need to get it refilled at a Pokemon Center if you want to use it again. Also, it's nerfed in the sense that it's just another thing that makes your game run like doo-doo! Pokemon Scarlet and Violet almost feels as if there's too much content to be jam-packed into the Switch, a now 5-year-old device. When I first launched the game, some of my Twitch viewers told me to fix my internet because the quality of the stream looked trash, but it was just the game. They told me this in a very toxic manner, by the way. It was very rude. So what I'm getting here is that they made a huge map that's filled with all sorts of Pokemon, items, events, NPCs. That makes sense that they might pull back on the looks of the game. A bunch of shading, lighting, and high-quality models would totally tear down the performance. I'm glad Game Freak wants the performance to outweigh the graphics. No, did it crash? No! I've always been a completionist in the sense that if I see a Pokemon I know I haven't captured once, I will do whatever I can to get it. Even if I have to throw my whole life's worth of Pokeballs at this red bird that I know is never going to come close to being in my party once. I just need to fill that Pokedex entry. I've completely lost that goal in this game because of the laggy process you have to go through every time you get into a battle. The feature of being able to send your Pokemon out to fight without you commanding it seems like a great idea, but it is a bit wonky and your Pokemon might not always charge at the target you want. But man, I'm sure my aim would be a bit better if I had more frames! Seriously though, Pokemon has truly come a long way, and yes, I'm sure that's to be expected by now, but I'm still getting used to the new formats like the removal of the tall grass aspect. We no longer have to get jumped by herds of Oddish while we're searching for a single Absol. With all the open space Scarlet and Violet has to offer, Game Freak did an alright job at making these digital 2-pixel animal things actually seem real at points. You'll walk around and see a pack of bred dogs being led by the top evolved form, and if you try to get close, the mom or dad, because it's never both, might cautiously walk you first and attempt to intimidate you into walking away. Or in the middle of your battle, all the wild Pokemon in the field might start crowding around you to watch and do nothing as their former neighbor gets pulverized into the ground for your own XP. With most of these features in the game, it's so hard to not compare it to many past Pokemon games. Your rival now chooses a starter that has a type disadvantage against your starter, when they used to always choose whatever's better against yours. For the whole duration of your Pokemon journey, even when we become champion, we can swap small accessories, but unfortunately we're stuck with this cringe school uniform. I can no longer flashbang any opponent opponents who look slightly in my direction, or walk outside dressed like whatever this is. What's crazy is that after all this, I still think the game is fun. It actually has no business being this fun, but ugly at the same time. Sounds like my ex. It's through every new area that you hope you'll find a Pokemon from the new generation that you absolutely fall in love with, even if it's a literal flamingo or a questionable design like a white Diglett that's named Wiglet. Or maybe you haven't played some past games and discover an older Pokemon that's still new to you, which becomes your favorite. If you've never played Pokemon before, I say you gotta try at least one game. While it would be great to be caught up with all the hype surrounding the latest release, a lot of Pokemon fans are invested in every game for the sole reason of seeing and capturing the new Pokemon that get released every generation. If you have no idea what a Dragonite is, for example, it would be totally worth it to try out an older game that arguably runs better too. And with all the time I invested, I've barely scratched the surface of the game, honestly. I literally only have a somewhat working party of 6 Pokemon that I like, I've caught no legendaries, haven't done a single Terra raid, barely touched the items to easily enhance your Pokemon, just a bunch of stuff to still do.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is a good step in the right direction,
But it's never at the destination. Fix the game lag, please, Game Freak. I want to be able to play the full game without feeling like I'm being held back by my frames. But hey, if you ever happen to lose a battle, you can always tell yourself the OG excuse. I'm lagging, bro, trust me. Click these two video links right here. Click that.
If man was not meant to drip, then why am I sopping?